Good morning to all of you out there. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Cignal TV, channels 8, and for high definition television, you can watch us on channel 250 on Cignal TV. You can also watch us via facebook.com/onenewsph. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much to the many Filipinos watching from abroad via Facebook, friends who have informed us that they get to watch it. And we appreciate it because it encourages us to keep you updated. Maraming salamat din po sa PLDT Fiber Optic because they continue to sustain our service here in Lipa City, Batangas. Okay. And now, June 28, 2021, it's a Monday. Medyo bumabangon po tayo muli. We are recovering from what many would call a very, very sad weekend with the passing of our former president, Benigno Simeon Cojuangco Aquino III. We continue to send out our condolences to the family members of Pinoy and his supporters, as well as those of you, marami sa inyong mga Pilipino, nagluluksa din dahil masakit, malungkot ding mawala ng isang Pangulo regardless of your political affiliations. Now, before we carry on with the program, with our scheduled interviews, and please, I encourage you to listen, to watch today, kasi marami pong nangyayari around the world. Because, you know, many of you might just be tuning in locally to local news, local reports. Medyo limitado po. Pero alam nyo, if you monitor news reports abroad and then the interviews, the documentaries, etc., you will be, medyo mag-aalala po kayo. You will be concerned because apparently, while the vaccines are all over the place, this Delta V variant, yung bang Indian variant na mas matindi, yung Indian COVID-19 pero may mas matinding variant na, has been wreaking havoc, and some vaccines are getting challenged by the Delta V variant. So, kung medyo praning po ang ating mga government officials regarding Delta V variant, well, they have reason to be. So we will discuss that. But before we go to the day's interview, let's first take a look at the front page of the Philippine Star. And here's the upper half of the front page. On the head, 9 billion released for health workers risk allowance. Yan po ang main headline. At sa taas po, on the top of the front page, Vice President Leni opposes arming anti-crime volunteers. And then there is the illegal drug trade back to business as usual according to the United Nations. Malacanang appeals for patience on vaccines. And on the lower half of the paper, there you go, a photo of people who have been continuously going to the tomb of Ninoy, Cory, and Noynoy Aquino. And on the bottom half, you have Noy Rodi ties date back to Davao Yellow Friday, kung saan sinasabi that no less than the mother of President Rodi Duterte was the one who started the Yellow Friday movement. So, friend sila nun. Pero ganun po ang politics. It is always association for convenience. DILG to PNP, keep out of politics. Advincula, Archbishop Advincula wants more people closer to God. Okay, that's a good start, sir, and we hope to pursue that in the coming days. Now, let's go to the stories behind the headlines. Health workers exposed to COVID may soon receive their 5,000 peso special risk allowance or SRA for the months of December 2020 until June 2021. This after the Department of Budget and Management approved the release of over 9 billion pesos to the Health Department under Bayanihan 1. The SRA or Special Risk Allowance is prorated or generally based on the number of prescribed days a frontliner reported to work. Excuse me. So that's good news. The frontline health workers will get their money. Sana naman po, DBM, Secretary Wendell, maalala mo yung mga magbababoy na before COVID pa, napangakuan na bibigyan ng kabayaran dun sa mga baboy nilang pilitang pinakatay so that we will be able to stem ASF. Because up to now, wala pa rin silang pera. I just pray to God sincerely that the SRA of our health workers will not come to them at a crawling pace o titingi-tingiin na naman po. We will really get on this case because we are fed up with this promises. Talo pa ninyo yung mga promising politician. Meanwhile, the national government continues to appeal for patients in vaccine distribution outside of Metro Manila. This as 10 cities have been added to the priority list alongside NCR plus 8 due to rising number of infections. These cities are Baguio, Tuguegarao, Naga, Legazpi, Bacolod, Iloilo, Dumaguete, Cagayan de Oro, Zamboanga, and General Santos. Time out lang, my dear executive producer, I simply have to make a comment on this. The national government is asking for patience. Tell that to the patients. Because last week, I think it was Friday, where I wrote an article where I realized that there was something wrong with the strategy of the national government. It is another example of pro-imperial Manila policy making. Inuna natin yung NCR, pagkalaki-laking populasyon, we said if we vaccinate NCR, it will stop the spread of COVID to the provinces. If you think about it, if we had vaccinated the Filipinos in the provinces, we would have been dealing with smaller populations. And if they were vaccinated, even if NCR kept sending out troops of infected people, if the Filipinos in the provinces were already vaccinated, then we wouldn't have the problems that they are now having in the provinces. Yun lang po naman, kasi kung minsan masyadong marami nagmamagaling sa gobyerno, akala nila sila lang ang may alam. I'm sorry, I have to call it the way it is because now you're saying to them, no, there is no vaccine inequality. Well, this is recognition. This is recognizing the fact that, oh please, we will get to you, we will get to you. So anyway. And finally, DILG Secretary Eduardo Año reminded the police force to stay away from politics. The reminder comes after the dismissal of 6 police officers over their illegal arrest of a Negros Occidental Vice Mayor in 2017. That's very interesting because ito, illegal arrest of a Occidental Vice Mayor, Negros Occidental Vice Mayor in 2017. What about the ambush murder, liquidation of a mayor this year, where police officers were involved? Yung bang Kalbayog ba yun or something? Medyo hindi ko na lang matandaan, pero I'm sure Team Agenda will send it to me. And what about all of the police-related murders, cold-blooded murders going on? I mean, you're recognizing politically related activities, Mr. Secretary. And alam mo naman, respetado kita, mahal kita. Kanya lang, I think our focus is wrong. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I wrote a column today in the Philippine Star kasi President Duterte wants to arm civilian groups daw. Armasan yung mga ilang grupo na anti-crime groups kuno. Okay? Parang sablay Is the president saying that we have a crime wave, that criminality in the Philippines is out of control, that you have to arm civilians, number one? Number two, is the president saying that the Philippine National Police has failed? I don't think the Philippine National Police has failed. Maybe the Philippine National Police has internal issues or character issues among some of their officers. Kumbaga, because right now, as far as criminality is concerned, there are many cases of multiple homicide or murder because maraming, as one barangay captain put it, maraming mga nabuburyong, depressed, who parents or fathers who simply just kill the wife and children because they have nothing to feed them and they have no hope, or people committing suicide, etc. If there is criminality, then maybe it is about a police officer who killed a mother and son in cold blood, a police officer who killed a woman neighbor he was annoyed with in cold blood, police officers ambushing fellow police officers in drug bust, etc. Police officers ambushing army intelligence people. Sorry po, pag inarmasan mo yung civilian, what do you expect the citizens to do? Shoot back at police officers? I don't know. In my column, I said, you want to arm civilians? Civilians are armed, except the PNP won't let them renew their gun licenses, gun permits. So now the civilians who were previously law-abiding have automatically, by technicality, been turned into criminals. Ay, ewan ko po. Okay, let's go to the quote of the day. The quotation for today comes from the book of Psalms, chapter 16, verse 8. I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. That is such a beautiful verse chosen by our executive producer. Kasi po, alam niyo pagka ganitong yung mga vaccine sumasablay or medyo, hindi naman sumasablay. To be fair, the vaccines aren't failing, but it's the virus that's just becoming parang transformer virus na, no? And then when you are faced with politicians and all of this, mga hindi makontrol yung virus sa lugar nila, magpe-presidente sa Pilipinas, etc. Nako, medyo, we have to turn to the Lord. We have to look to God. And I was saying over the weekend to my friends, you guys can choose vice president down. All the senators, all the congressmen, the president, leave that to God. Because God gives us the president we deserve. I'm just calling on all Filipinos. Please, if you want to do something, join us in the war of prayers. Okay? Pray for a better government, better outcome in our society and elections. Okay, now let's go to the interview. Sabi ko, tama na, awat na ako yan. Okay. Concerns over the effectiveness of Sinovac vaccines are rising after 350 health workers in Indonesia were affected and several dozens have died. Now, alam niyo po, ang nafo-focus Indonesia. Pero sa Chile, medyo I heard chilling report na sila parang choosy na rin sila. Kasi feeling nila, sandali, parang hindi effective yan. Wag na lang. Literally, people going to the vaccine center and when they find out that in Chile, inuulit ko po, sa Chile, okay? Hindi Chile con carne. In the country of Chile, people would actually go to the vaccination center. When they find out it's Sinovac, they leave. Balik na lang kami pag meron ng Western vaccine. Ganun nakatindi. And then in Russia, there have been several reports made over the weekend na yung mga nabakunahan ng Sputnik, fully vaccinated, tinatamaan pa rin. What is this telling us? It's telling us the problem is not the vaccine, the problem is it's the virus. Let's go now to a returning interviewee on agenda and someone I found very informative, very relaxed in her responses. None other than Dr. Maria Consorcia Lim-Quizon, National Immunization Technical Advisory Group or NITAG. Doc Conky, good morning.
Good morning, Cito, and good morning sa lahat ng mga naka-tune in ngayon.
Okay, Doc Conky, siguro naman, by now, you know a little about me. I don't want to be an alarmist. Kanya lang, parang, alam mo, we also have to inform people na, kasi ang dami kong kilala, nabakunahan na, namamasyal na. Mga kaibigan ko, namamasyal na. Sabi ko, please lang, mag-ingat kayo dahil yung mga namomonitor kong report, the vaccine is not failing. The virus is just transforming. Could you share your thoughts on this, Doc Conky?
Oo. Such a lot of thoughts doon sa sinabi mo. Ang dami pwedeng sabihin. Unang-una, let me just define muna kung anong ibig sabihin ng nabakunahan, no? So, kailangan 2 doses, tapos at 2 weeks after yung second dose, doon mo lang sasabihin na talagang protektado ka. After that, hindi natin sinasabing, sige, piyesta na. Lumabas ka na kaliwat kanan, protektado ka na. No, because hindi pa rin ganun karami sa atin ang nabakunahan. Kaya kailangan, kung lalabas at all, is nando pa rin yung pagpapractice ng face mask, face shield, hand washing, social distancing, and so on and so forth, no? So, meron na rin tayo, meron naman na nabakunahan na, pero hindi pa rin sapat para sabihin natin na, sige, go ahead, you can go out. Yung ganon. Ngayon, let me comment on the sinabi mong, bakit may mga nabakunahan na nagkakasakit pa rin? Lalo na health workers, no? Nabanggit mo yung sitwasyon sa Indonesia na and Chile, specific to the Sinovac. Okay, let me take you back noong February, nung inuumpisahan natin magbigay ng Sinovac, no? Sinabi nila, hindi naman nila kinaila, na ang effectivity for mild disease or mild COVID is parang ang protection niya na maibibigay is up to 50%. Okay? So, parang 50-50. Pag nabakunahan ka, pwedeng magkaroon ka, pwedeng hindi pa ng mild infection. However, its common denominator with the other Western vaccines is that it will provide more than 90% against moderate to severe. And at the end of the day, ito ang gusto natin, ito ang ating objective, na i-prevent ang hospitalization and deaths because of COVID. And therefore, any of the vaccines na available ngayon sa daigdig, including itong Sinovac, is tinataya at tinatala na 90 to 100% effective against moderate to severe. And therefore, it will prevent hospitalization and deaths. So ito po inuulit-ulit natin. Hindi lang sa Sinovac, kahit doon sa ibang bakuna, it is quite possible na magkaroon ka pa rin ng infection, pero it could be asymptomatic or mild. Kasi hindi naman sinisyento porsyento. So yun po ang aking mai-share or comment ko doon sa nasabi mo initially.
Okay, now, do we have, kasi member ka nitong National Immunization Technical Advisory Group or yung NITAG. Do we have a team in the Department of Health or IATF going about monitoring incidents or incident reports regarding possible infection of fully vaccinated frontliners or patients?
They've actually started to do that kasi bawat ospital actually dun sa may mga nag-cluster sa hospital o kaya sa mga RHUs na health workers. So meron naman, tinignan naman. But then at the end of the day, yun nga ang conclusion is that sige, kasi hindi naman natin hindi naman natin talaga sinabing 100% protective against the mild form of COVID, no? So far naman, hanggang sa ngayon, maybe hindi namin alam. But what we know is that wala naman tayong na-severe o namatay na mga napakunahan in kung anumang vaccine yung ginamit dahil sa nagkasakit sila ng COVID after having been fully vaccinated.
Okay, so have there been any reports of someone or some people getting infected?
Yes, after fully vaccinated.
Oo.
Meron mga nare-report na nagkasakit and mga nagkasakit or na positive. You know, after
Sa Pilipinas, Sa Pilipinas,
Yes.
Okay, kasi parang nagtataka lang ako doon, Doc Conky, and like I said, no, it's not to be an alarmist, but it is just to bring the message home, and I really wish, I pray na those in charge would spend more time and more effort and more money communicating this, kasi parang hindi lumalabas yung message na even though you are fully vaccinated, you can still get it. Parang people are being dismissive. Oh, it's a rare occasion, or it is parang ano ba tawag nito? It is an exception to the rule, etc.
Oo. To be fair, no, hindi ako taga DOH. Naitag ako. Kami hindi bayaran ng DOH. Pero, the thing is, there are messages. Kaya lang sobrang ingay sa ere. And na may infodemics. Everybody pwedeng tumipa sa internet dyan, ang tendency ba ng mga tao makinig at kalimutan doon sa kung ano yung talagang messages. So number one, sa totoo lang, may messages naman. Sinasabi naman. Kaya lang hindi napapakinggan. Kung kaya't alam mo, Cito, it's for me, napakahalaga and I truly appreciate yung mga katulad nyo na nangungulit. Kasi nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon na ikulit din at i-underscore yung mga messages. So, let me repeat na pwedeng magkaroon, pwedeng ma-infect even though you are fully vaccinated. However, it is not likely that you are going to get the moderate or the severe form, which is actually what we are protecting against most of all dito sa mga bakunang binibigay natin.
Okay. Doc Conky, talagang hindi ko na alam kung alin ang tatanong ko siya sa daming possible questions. You're an epidemiologist, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. As an epidemiologist, given the trend globally, where I promoted Sinovac here in Lipa among my friends, even to people in Metro Manila, sinasabi ko magbabakuna na kayo, better than none. But given the trend where it is clear na at the most you get 55% coverage, should we start talking about phasing out the less superior vaccines or the inferior vaccines towards next year. Kasi next year, 2022, we will be doing re-vaccination. As I understand, because my daughter is in Holland and medyo may mga salita na doon sa Holland, sa Netherlands na, well, we will probably be going towards Pfizer and Astra and Moderna and dropping the rest. Now, what are your thoughts on that? That as we go to next year, would it be wiser, safer to simply work towards getting an all Pfizer, Moderna, Astra lineup instead of the including Sputnik, Sinovac, and Sinopharm?
Okay. So, number one, lahat ng mga natanggap natin na bakuna at the moment ay mga donation. Okay? So, kumbaga, beggars can't be choosers. Pero, hindi naman dahil tinambakan lang tayo ng walang kakwenta-kwenta mga vaccine. No. So, doon sa suggestion mo na, kapag kayo bibili na tayo talaga or moving forward, bakit hindi na lang tayo mamili? That's what you're saying, no? So, sabi namin, actually, nagkaroon ng suggestion na ganyan from IATF na sabi nila, 3 na lang instead of ano. Ang challenge sa ating mga experts ay ito, paano natin, ano ang criteria natin para sabihin na this one is better, unequivocally, beyond reasonable doubt, na this one is better than the other one. That's number one. Number two, napili natin yung 3 yon. Sabi, yun daw ang pinakamagaling. Hindi naman makapag-supply sa atin. Di ba? Kasi remember na talagang importante ngayon yung asaan yung bakuna. Kung kahit yung mga mayayamang bansa, initially, hindi nakapag-roll out kasi walang dumating na bakuna sa kanila. Hindi lang naman tayo natangtang. Globally yan, global forces. So, ang daming dapat i-consider, Cito, before saying, ilimit natin sa 3. But I would like to say that it is being considered. The challenge is, what will be the criteria for the experts moving forward? Paano natin pipiliin itong 3 ito? Kahit alin dito ang pipiliin natin, may masasabi ang mga tao kung hindi tayo very transparent at very sigurado na masasabi, kaya siguro yung 3 yan ang pinili, kesyo-kesyo. And you know that, most of all.
Okay, but you made that good point. Beggars can be choosers. You may want the best, but if it's not available, that's valid. Also, there is the issue of price or affordability. I presume that the first standard of choosing the options would be based on efficacy of the medicine. Now, having said all of that, is there what price are we going to pay for just keeping things as they are? Kasi sabi ng EP ko din may namatay na daw sa Indonesia. Ilang dosena na frontline workers ang namatay. And we've had problems. Yung sa Russia, sa Sputnik, double vaccinated na. Tinamaan ng double pneumonia, etc. So, if we carry on with our reality, kumbaga Cito, no choice na tayo hanggang dito lang talaga tayo, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a milder pandemic next year? Or are we looking at, okay, we will have more patients but less deaths, etc.? What are we looking at, Doc Conky?
Alam mo, sabi mo dati,
Okay, I think we had a problem with Doc Conky's signal there, but I'm sure we will be able to restore Doc Conky. Please update me, team agenda. Okay, we will go for a break. When we return, we hope to get Doc Conky back on the program. Please keep it here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. You are watching us via Cignal TV channels 8 and 250, as well as on Facebook.com/OneNewsPH. I am not sure. Please, Team Agenda, kindly let me know if Doc Conky is back. Doc Conky, welcome back.
Thank you. Balikan natin yung tanong mo
sige.
kanina. Okay.
Sige.
So, what are we looking at sa mga susunod na buwan?
Ano ang kapalit?
Ano ang kapalit ng patuloy na Sinovac?
Yeah. Sputnik.
Oo. Ano ang kapalit niyan? Unang-una, no, dito sa Pilipinas, Cito, nag-umpisa tayo noong February kasi yan ang unang dumating, hindi ba? Sa atin. And we job health workers initially. And wala tayong narinig na nag-pass away, na fully vaccinated na doktor. May mga nagkasakit, okay? Nagkasakit ng mild or nag-positive, pero hindi sila naggrabe. So, as far as we are concerned.
Wait, but Doc Conky, sorry, pasensya, I never really butt in with my guess, but we didn't have Delta V variant back then.
Right.
Okay.
So, move forward. Ngayon may Delta variant, no? Gaano ka-effective ang mga bakuna natin? But who can tell? Cito, none. Moderna, Pfizer, not any of those can in fact tell us na, oy, kami, sigurado kami can prevent the infection. None of them can claim that. At the moment, kasi habang lumalabas yan, doon palang pinag-aaralan eh. All the vaccines were made, in particular, para doon sa current strain, yung unang lumabas. Hindi ginawa yung mga vaccine para doon sa alpha, beta, delta variant. Hindi para doon. Ang sinasabi lang nila sa atin so far, all of these vaccines are still protective against these variants. As long as hindi mangingibabaw ang porsyento ng variants. Ibig ko sabihin, Cito, oo, expected natin magkakaroon ng variants. Pero dapat this is a race against time na magbakuna tayo at hindi mangibabaw na mas marami yung variants kesa dun sa COVID-19 na original. And if we're able to maintain that, then we'll be safe.
Okay, I'm just trying to, going back in time in history of vaccinations and vaccines, was there ever a time in human history na we had a battle, we had a war like this na naglalaban yung vaccines versus viruses and medyo nagkaroon ng dominant virus or something or variant na nagkagulo-gulo?
Oo. I guess this is the first time na talaga sabog na sabog. You know, when you talk about dun sa nakaraan, dun sa, say for example, dengue, may 4 na strains na dengue. At any given time, endemic sa atin sa Pilipinas yan. Laging meron. Tumataas, bumababa lang kung tag-ulan. Tapos, over the years, may lilitaw na ganitong strain. Tapos, susunod na taon, ibang strain na naman. So, napag-aralan ng husto kung kaya't yung mga bad yata yung aking example, no? Eto, babalikan ko ang siya. Pero over the years, doon sa isang bakuna, 4 na strain, ang lalabanan nung particular na bakuna na yon. Even polio, better ang polio, na through the years na na-identify yung strain, pag nagbigay ka ng polio, nung una sabi trivalent, ngayon quadrivalent, ibig sabihin yung 4 na klase o 4 na variant ng polio virus ay included na doon sa vaccine na to. Dito tayo ngayon sa COVID, iisa pa lang yun dahil iisa pa lang na napag-aralan.
Yung original pa lang ang pinag-uusapan natin.
Exactly.
Nakalimang panganganak na itong bullshit na COVID na ito.
Oo. Kaya lang talagang sabog na sabog. It's all over the place. Kung kaya't nagkukumahog tayo, we don't have the luxury of, sige, let's see what goes on. Which is what happened with the other diseases in the past. Na we had the luxury of waiting and studying and seeing what's gonna happen.
Okay. As an epidemiologist, given limited resources, given the limited time, I think it's safe to say na we are under a time pressure. Where would you focus your communications, publicity, and noisemakers on? On vaccination or telling people na, even if you got vaccinated, you still have to observe the health protocols. Please stay home. Please limit your movement. Kasi yun yung away ngayon. In fact, nung in-announce there was this news article that came out over the weekend na to put NCR Plus on a much more relaxed quarantine status. A number of my friends said, "What? Nasisiraan na ba kayo ng bait? Hindi nga maayos-ayos itong COVID na ito. Relax pa kayo."
Oo. If you can allow me, kasi binanggit mo, no, pareho tayo ng concern. Kasi, Cito, we're still looking at 5,000 to 6,000 new cases a day. And last year, no, medyo okay tayo, that was 1,000 to 2,000 a day. Tapos, nung nag-search tayo towards the Holy Week, hindi ba doon umakyat ng 10,000, 12,000, tapos napababa natin. Pero kahit napababa natin, it's still 5,000 to 6,000. And yet, why are we considering na i-relax ang mga bagay-bagay? Okay? So, pareho tayo dyan. Agree with you. Okay. So, saan ko ngayon ifo-focus ang messages? Kung halimbawang ganyan ang sitwasyon natin. I would focus on the individuals. Protect the individuals. Do things that the individual can do himself. Kasi may mga bagay na while I want to say bakuna, ang daming factors sa bakuna that is beyond our control. Nabanggit mo kanina sa headline na sabi ng palasyo, pasensya muna dahil wala pa. O sige, habang wala yan dahil nga beyond the individual's control, may mga paraan na tayo, health is in our hands, na yun ang gawin natin. So yun ang mga messages. So continue yung palakasin ng resistensya natin. Wag muna lalabas. Kung wala ka rin lang business going out, utang na loob, huwag ka muna lumabas. And then hand washing, face mask, and face shield. Let me go back and say, consistently and correctly using face mask and face shields. So I will focus in the meantime.
Okay. Mabilis ang tanungan na lang, Doc, no? Kasi I'm down to last 2 minutes with you. First of all, where do you stand regarding prioritization of vaccination? Huwag na nating sabihin merong inequality on vaccines. Pero kasi yung naging position ko, dati sinuportahan ko yung NCR first. Pero ngayon parang sabi ko, sandali, mukhang mali yata yun. Siguro dapat yung smaller population provinces ang pinrotektahan na lang. So
Oo.
na hindi na sila pwedeng pasukin ng mga nanggagaling sa
Oo.
NCR na virus.
Oo. Well, the NITAG agreed to focus, that was in April or May. That was when yung nagsisearch tayo. We agreed to focus on NCR kasi NCR ang nagda-drive ng epidemic at that time. And number two, at that time, there were what? 2.5 or 4 million doses na dumating sa atin. Sito, kung pinaghati-hati natin yun sa buong Pilipinas, it would have not made a dent. It would not have made an impact kung pinaghati-hati natin yung 2.5 million doses. Pero sinabi namin na, o sige, kasi ang nag-drive ng epidemic Metro Manila, doon muna natin ilagay, nakatulong kahit paano. Moving forward, tama ka, dapat mas equitable ngayon, and yun ang ginagamit. Kasi inaasahan naman natin na medyo mas mabubuksan ng gripo ng bakuna ngayon, mas marami. And so DOH really has allocated more equitably this time. Maghihintay lang talaga tayo na dumating na.
Question, Doc
Inaasahan
Conky,
natin.
40 million vaccines ba yun yung sabi nila na Pfizer padating daw? Eh may mga nag-react, yeah, you have 40 million doses, you don't have the freezers for minus 60 degrees. What's your reaction to that?
Well, some of the LGUs, including my LGU sa Tarlac, initially,
Mm.
January pa lang, bumili na ng pang-freezer dyan, no? Kung kaya't siguro one of the criteria kung saan mapupunta yung Pfizer is kung talagang preparado yung LGU na yon na take on itong bakuna na Pfizer kasi nga sub-zero ang kailangan niya for storage.
Okay, well, as always, it is really a good experience speaking with you. It's pleasant speaking with you, and it's very informative, Doc Conky. And please keep in touch, and we hope to bring you back to the program in future episodes. Thank you very much, Doc Conky.
Likewise, Cito, and thank you too.
Okay, that is Dr. Maria Consorcia Lim-Quizon, a member of the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group, or NITAG. So to wrap up that particular interview, at the end of the day, even if you are fully vaccinated, Doc Conky has confirmed what we have been sharing on the program, that you can still get the virus. And now, thank God, mercifully, mukhang it's not yet in the Philippines, this Delta V variant. But we have to really be careful. It is our individual efforts, it is our individual precautions that will protect us, and nothing better. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. And on this part of the program, we will go to a faculty member of the Mariano Marcos State University and two of its students to find out. Ito pong Mariano Marcos State University ay nasa Batak, Ilocos Norte po. And we will interview three people regarding their participation in the Smart Prepaid Innovation Generation Program, an initiative which aims to pave the way for technology-enabled solutions to challenges brought by COVID-19 pandemic. Kumbaga, sa ngayon, we are all talking about face shield, face mask, and distance and alcohol. But there are people who are proactively finding ways and means to deal with COVID or to create a COVID-19 safe environment or conduct business using technology. So marami sa inyo na biglang natuto kayo ng QR code dahil pag wala kayong QR code, hindi kayo makapasok sa isang bayan o facility, etc. Let's bring in Engineer Faye, faculty member of Mariano Marcos State University, Fraezznel, Juness, Albayalde, and Jose Angelo Pascua, both second-year ECE students of Marcos State University. Good morning, Engineer Faye. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning po.
Okay, matanong ko lang, what kind of, medyo diretsa na, anong na-invento ninyo? What design have you come up with regarding how to deal with COVID in the business environment or in school or wherever? Engineer Faye.
Okay. So the students of Mariano Marcos State University formulated or created a system that could automate the UV light disinfection of classrooms, hospitals, or any settings na possible pong ma-installan ng ating UV light. So in our university po kasi, meron na pong installed UV lights sa mga rooms, pero hindi pa po siya automated. Ino-on pa po siya manually ng mga janitors po namin. And we saw na this can be harmful po sa kanila. So we thought of why not we can automate this system and also add a monitoring system po para makita po ng mga superiors kung na-disinfectant po ba yung room or kung meron mang pumasok sa room accidentally, automatic na pong magpapatay yung mga UV lights to protect yung mga tao na papasok.
Sino yung head dito? Si Fraezznel or si Jose Angelo?
Si Juness po, si Fraezznel.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello po, sir. Can you repeat the question po kasi
Okay, who came up with the original idea? Ikaw ba? At saka paano ba ito? Using ano ito? Sensor?
Opo. Bale, yung idea po started with yung sa team na rin po mismo kasi yun nga, MMSU has been in partner with Smart na po ever since. And may parang binigay na memo si Smart sa MMSU na we will be joining a parang technology na startup contest, parang ganun. And dun nag-start na mag-idealize kami ng project, and na-observe namin na yung janitress po namin is she is in constant risk of yung effects ng UV light sa kanyang skin kasi there's been studies din na nagsasabi na yung UV light daw po is kapag na-expose ka sa UVC light, you can be epidermis or your upper layer ng skin mo can be damaged. So naisip namin na what if gawin nating automated siya and pwede siyang ma-monitor ng user. So doon na nag-start yung idea namin, and within the group nagko-collaborate na kami with our professors kung ano yung pwedeng gamitin, and doon nag-start yung idea po namin.
Good idea. Pasensya na, medyo yung aking napaka 12 years old na computer nag-iinarte ngayong umaga. Alam mo tayo, ang Kuya Cito low-tech. Okay, so Jose Angelo, so the idea is a UV light system or operating system na goes on and off, etc. Pero, so how did you develop this?
So, yung ano po namin, sir, let me just elaborate.
Go.
Mayroon tatlong bida yung project namin. Bale, we have the UV light, yung installed na as Engineer Faye has said. And then we also have the application and, of course, the safety measures. Una sa lahat, yung UV light, as we have said before, it is responsible for the disinfection na of the rooms or the area that the UV light is installed. Tapos we have the application. We created this application that is for the user. Dito nagsashine yung user or yung admin. It all starts with the user actually, sir. Once na may once na may idea na siya kung kailan siya mag-start ng disinfection, the only thing he or she needs to do is to use the application that we have made. Meron siyang mga dedicated buttons to create a schedule, and of course, once na naset na niya yung time, pwede na siyang mag-work. As in, bahala na yung system to work according to or catering to what the user wants. And then lastly, mayroon din siyang sensors or the safety measures. Sa safety measures kasi, sir, ginamit namin yung PIR sensor na kung saan it will try to detect any kind of biological being, if for in this case, mga tao or any human being that's trying to go inside the rooms. So it was coded na kapag may tao, it will automatically shut off the system. Nang sa ganun, maprotektahan din yung mga epidermis na sinasabi ng leader namin.
So ang ginagamit ninyo dito, Jose, is infrared sensors. Okay. So, okay, iba yung concept, work, simple. Setup, simple. Pero in terms of actual application, in terms of practicality, is it beneficial? How did it go, Engineer Faye? Kasi mukhang ikaw yata yung nagdi-decision ng passing grade nila, di ba?
Yes, sir. So, in terms of practicality po, sir, we have seen na mostly po ng mga establishments uses it's either alcohol or bleach to disinfect the area. Now, every day, gumagamit po sila ng 1 liter to 1 gallon po ng disinfectants just to clean the area. And we thought na if the area will be installed, malalagyan po ng UV light or ng system po namin is mamimitigate po yung expenses po nila. We actually did a calculation and we saw na in the long run, although yung initial investment po is medyo may kalakihan versus ng pagbili ng alcohol, but in the long run, especially po medyo matagal pa po ata tong pandemic natin, hearing from the discussions po kanina, is marirecuperate po natin. And also, after the pandemic, kung kailangan po pa rin natin gumamit ng disinfection, magagamit pa rin po natin yung system, which is mababawi naman po nila yung investments nila.
Well, Fraezznel, what area of application is this used? Kasi sabi mo, janitress kanina, sabi ni Fraezznel, janitress. Pero ano ito, for classrooms lang ba ito? Low traffic or low human traffic areas? Kasi may mga nagsasabi na, okay ang mga UV-UV na yan, tsaka yung mga high-tech. Pero kung maliliit lang yung mga lugar or konti lang ang tao, Fraezznel.
Bale po, originally po yung mga UV lights and ginagamit sa hospitals po. Pero wala siyang automation na part. So, yung system namin can work through buildings na may different rooms. Like for example, yung schools, pwede din hospitals or mga business establishments na kaya niyang i-disinfect siya within a certain radius or a certain distance. And siguro pwede rin siya through yung mga mga public utility vehicles din po, pwede siyang gawan din doon. Like, pagkatapos ng mga nakasakay na mga tao, pwede siyang i-disinfect nung jeepney driver kung gusto niya. And while waiting, pwede siyang gawa ng kahit ano niyang gustong gawin kasi yun nga, it is already automated na po. So, hindi
Okay.
lang siya restricted within mga smaller spaces, pwede din siya with mga establishments din po.
Okay, pati kamo, jeepney. Jose, pwede ba yun? Kasi ang dami ko nakikita mga bus driver, conductor, mga jeepney, punas ng punas, hugas ng hugas, sabi, baka sabi, yan na lang, mas matipid pa sa tubig, hindi pa kami papawisan.
Yes, sir. Yung project namin, it is still focused sa mga rooms. Pero I think when we are trying to look at it, I think we could actually implement this idea with the jeepneys as our leader has said. Kasi nga, madami yung tao na pumupasok sa mga jeepneys and bus as you have said, sir. So, we are trying to improve more, and as the days goes by, kapag may improve pa namin mas masyado, we would like to go on with implementing this idea sa mga jeepneys na rin, sa mga bus, which is actually possible, sir.
Okay, well, Engineer Faye, aside from this concept, meron pa bang mga ibang concept na ginagawa kayo dyan sa Mariano Marcos State University or para for the smart project itong ginagawang ito?
As of the moment, sir, we are currently in talks with the administration of our university to roll out our system to all the campuses in our university. As of the moment po, nakaset up po kasi siya dito sa college lang namin. But we are planning po to install it also to other buildings para makamenos gastos na rin po yung university namin. And we thank so much si Smart Prepaid Innovation Generation for giving us a grant money para makapag-develop po ng system namin. If using our own money po, hindi po namin ma-develop po ito. And we'd like to thank them for the grant. Dahil po dito, not only na-develop po namin yung prototype namin, but we also have enough money pa po para gumawa ng other prototypes to install sa other colleges.
Okay, pero ano ba ito? Program ba ito or contest? Pasensya ka na, Engineer Faye. I absolutely don't know anything about what you guys are into, but is this, itong Smart Prepaid Innovation Generation Program, is it an existing program na nag-apply kayo or is it a competition or a contest?
Ang Smart Innovation Generation Program po has been around for how many years now? And actually, our university, MMSU, has been partnered with Smart po through the years. Before po, competitive po siya. But because of the pandemic, naisipan po ng Smart na why not just give grants to all the partner schools ng Smart and come out with the best solution for the existing pandemic po. So, this year, binigyan po kami ng grant ng Smart Innovation Generation. Nag-submit po kami ng mga ideas namin and yung best idea po na napili po nila, yun po yung in-execute namin, which is ito pong UV light automation. So, through the support of Smart, not only po monetary yung support nila, nag-support po sila through education and exposure of our students na ang mga students po namin, they went through mentoring po, mga high-class na mentors from Manila na hindi namin ma-achieve from dito sa Ilocos. Buti na lang nga po, meron na po yung mga virtual na to, and they were mentored po by world-class mentors from SMART. Nag-arrange din po sila ng mga meetings, seminars, and webinars para yung mga students namin can also collaborate po, sir, with other schools like Ateneo, DLSU, PUP. Naka-mingle po namin sila, which is very hard na mangyari if yung normal po na situation.
Well, baka one day makipagkulitan ako dito sa mga estudyante mo. At may dinidevelop din kasi ako, Fraezznel, Jose. Ang dinidevelop ko is a light trigger switch, a sound-activated switch. Para pag nagputakan yung mga manok sa kulungan, bubukas lahat ng ilaw para hindi na ako bangon ng bangon. Okay. Anyway, mad scientist din ang Kuya Cito. But anyway, congratulations guys, and I do hope you can find more more projects or come up with more ideas that have practical solutions. Kasi katulad kami dito sa lugar namin sa Lipa, magkakapit-bahay kami, puro na kami naka-solar because it makes a big difference. And now I am developing those. Nagpapatawa ko pero ginagawa ko talaga yon, sound activated. Kanya alam ko yung mga infrared triggered devices na yan. Anyway, thank you very much and congratulations for that, for sharing that project. And also, syempre, pasalamatan natin ang Smart Prepaid Innovation Generation Program because that is what our young people need now, our creative Filipinos and institutions like Mariano Marcos State University. They need the help of private sector so that our ideas can bloom and bear fruit. Maraming salamat sa inyo, Engineer Faye, Faye Simon, Fraezznel, Juness, Albayalde, and Jose Angelo Pascua. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us.
Okay, yan po ang mga tiga MMSU, and those people have been coming up with ideas. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Pasensya na kayo, medyo kalat ang Kuya Cito. Been a sleepless night. But anyway, God bless. Thank you for joining us. And see you again tomorrow, God willing.